Alright guys and girls, in this video today we are going to be going over your assignment, and it starts with a passage. This passage is called Should He Get Paid? We're going to read through this together, and I want you following along on your copy of the text. College sports bring in billions of dollars a year, but the athletes who play them don't get a penny. Is that fair? It was February 20th, 2019, and the basketball game between Duke University's Blue Devils and University of North Carolina's UNC Tar Heels was about to begin. The stands were packed and the fans were pumped. Tickets for the game had almost reached Super Bowl prices. One ticket went for a whopping $10,652. Duke and UNC have a long-standing and super intense rivalry. That was only part of the excitement. The other part? Duke player Zion Williamson, at 6 feet 7 inches and 285 pounds, bigger than most NBA players, Williamson, 18, is unlike any other player college basketball has ever seen. On the court, he is as graceful as a dancer and as powerful as a freight train. His sky-high jumps and show-stopping slam dunks have earned him millions of fans. He's often compared to Michael Jordan and LeBron James. You might think that this teenage prodigy is ranking in the big bucks, but in fact, he doesn't make a cent. All the money that the Blue Devils bring in goes to Duke, not to Williamson or to any other player. That's because, according to the National Collegiate Athletic Association, college athletes are not allowed to be paid. But should they? A big business. College sports, particularly college basketball and football, are a very big business involving a very large amount of money. Ticket sales are just one slice of the pie. A top team can secure lucrative endorsement deals. For example, Nike pays Duke millions to outfit its players in Nike gear, essentially turning the players into walking advertisements. Top college teams can also help increase their school enrollments and bump up donations from alumni. And then there's the money from TV deals and merchandise like hats and sweatshirts. So, if these teams bring in so much money, why don't the players get any of it? After all, without the players, there wouldn't be any teams. Not cheap. The thing is, colleges don't just make huge amounts of money on sports. They also spend a huge amount. Stadiums are not cheap. Neither are the equipment and team travel. Not to mention coaches' salary and scholarships for student athletes. According to a 2014 NCAA study, only 24 of the top 129 college football programs make a profit. Some say that forcing schools to pay athletes could do more harm than good. If players were paid, many schools might not be able to afford to keep their athletic programs running. They'd certainly have less money for sports like swimming, cross country, gymnastics, and soccer. Sports that don't bring in the kind of money that football and basketball do. Why should the students who play these sports have to suffer to benefit a few? Then again, top coaches make millions. Is it fair for them to make so much while the athletes themselves get nothing? After all, being a college athlete can be like working a full-time job while also going to school. A 2006 NCAA study found that top-tier college athletes dedicate an average of 37 hours per week to their sport. Paid to play. On the other hand, it's not quite accurate to say that college athletes get nothing. Many get tuition scholarships. Top athletes can even get completely free educations, often with housing and food costs included. They may also get free access to trainers and tutors. Plus, college players get coaching, experience, and exposure that can set them up for success if they pursue professional careers in their sport. What's more, if young athletes want to get paid to play, they do have options. For example, they can join a professional league overseas. Soon, elite high school basketball players will also have the chance to earn $125,000 a season in the NBA's minor league and potentially go straight from there to the pros. And for extraordinary athletes like Williamson, college is often only a brief stopover before they are old enough to go pro anyway. Currently, the NBA requires players to be at least 19 years old and a year out of high school. Then again, fewer than 2% of college athletes go on to have professional careers. As for the rest, some may look back and notice that while their school got a lot from them, they didn't get much from their school. Some college athletes are so busy with their sport that they don't have enough time or energy to devote to their studies. As a result, they may fall behind or even drop out. Would paying athletes really help, though, or would it make things worse? Some say that paying college athletes would turn them into employees, and isn't the whole point of college to be a student and get an education? A scary moment. As for Williamson, his future in the NBA seems certain. That is, of course, unless something unforeseen, like a career-ending injury, should happen. That awful possibility surely crossed many minds when 36 seconds into that big Duke-UNC game in February, his left sneaker suddenly fell apart, causing Williamson to fall and sprain his knee. Fortunately, the injury was not too serious. Williamson took a few weeks off and then returned to the court ready to dazzle his fans, but not get paid. All right, now that we have read the passage, you're ready to move on to the second part of this. And since we're talking about body paragraphs today, you guessed it, you are going to be writing a body paragraph. The directions say to read the prompt and then use the passage titled, "Should He Get Paid?" to finish the body paragraph that's already been started for you. So some of this is fill in the blank, and we're going to walk through those parts together, and then some of it you're going to do on your own. Here's our prompt. College sports, particularly basketball and football, are a very big business involving a very large amount of money. According to the National Collegiate Athletic Association, however, college athletes are not allowed to be paid. Is this fair? Should college athletes be paid? Write an essay in which you debate this topic. Include evidence from the provided passage to support your ideas. We are not writing an entire essay for this. We are only writing one body paragraph. And I have actually written your topic sentence for you. Remember, the job of the topic sentence is to tell us what the rest of the paragraph is going to be about. Your topic sentence starts with first, because we always start our body paragraphs with a transition. College athletes should get paid because they help generate large amounts of money for their school. In other words, the point that we're going to argue with this paragraph is that since college athletes make money for their schools, they should also be paid since they do that for their colleges. I have started this E1 for you. Remember, E1 stands for evidence. We always start our evidence with a good sentence starter like the text says. I have quotation marks here to show that this is not my words. This is the author's words, and I actually need to add some closing quotation marks here at the end, so you can add those to your copy of the paper. All right, our text evidence so far says, college sports, particularly college blank and blank, are a very big blank involving a very large amount of blank. To find that evidence, I'm going to have to go back to the text. I'm going to go ahead and tell you guys here up front that when you are looking for your evidence today, this section of the text called a big business is probably going to be the best place for you to look today. So here is the quote that we're focused on. College sports, particularly basketball and football, are a very big business involving a very large amount of money. So I'm taking this sentence under a big business and I'm filling in the blanks on my copy of my paragraph. So we've got the text says college sports, particularly college blank and blank. We are putting basketball in the first blank and football in the second blank. Are a very big blank, are a very big business. So we're going to put business here. Involving a very large amount of money. And again, guys, I found that piece of evidence straight from the text. The whole point that I'm trying to prove here is that college athletes earn their colleges lots of money. And this is an example of that. Basketball and football are a business that earn the schools a large amount of, here's the key word here, money. After our E1, we're going to move on to our E2. E2 is where we explain. College teams bring thousands of dollars to their universities each year. Sports teams can make money from things like blank and blank. We have to think of some things or some ways that college sports earn money for their schools. So if I go back to the text in that second sentence from where I just was citing my evidence. It tells me here ticket sales are just one slice of the pie. A top team can secure lucrative endorsement deals. So this would be two things. Ticket sales and endorsement deals are some different ways that college athletes can earn money for their school. So let's put ticket sales and endorsement deals. College teams bring in thousands of dollars to their universities each year. Sports teams can make money from things like ticket sales and endorsement deals. Shouldn't the athletes get paid some of this income? After our first E1 and E2, we're going to move on to our second E1 and E2. And a great transition to use to separate these would be furthermore. And we put a comma. And then this is actually where I'm going to leave you. I want you to try to finish the rest of this paragraph on your own. You're going to write an E1 and an E2. I have started those sentences for you. The text also says, and this shows. And I will give you guys a little hint that probably the best place to look for your evidence today is going to be in this section of the text under big business. So remember, we're trying to prove that since college athletes earn money for their schools, they should get paid some of that money. So go back through here and see if you can find another way or another place where it talks about how these athletes earn money for their schools. And then for your E2, explain to me why that means that these college athletes should get paid. Then you're going to end with your concluding sentence. Don't you agree that? And you're going to finish that sentence.